So, two videos in one day that don't really expect this, especially since the last one was an introduction to um, Panda Revolution. So, okay, the actual first video. I explained a lot why yesterday I was making this video. It was an introduction to me and exactly why I was doing it. That wasn't the actual video for the day. So, here's my actual first video, and this actually explains to what I do currently. Career Rise. Career Rise, I'm a Class A CDL holder for the state of Wyoming. If you guys don't know, Class A CDL is a commercial driver's license. I drive semi trucks for a living. I am home nightly, though I do drive full-sized trucks. And I live in a town where there's a CDL school. Sorry, I felt like I had a puke there, and I didn't. I hate that. Sorry, I was making sure I was actually recording video from the snowball. But so every once in a while I go down there, just seeing the new blood and whatnot, and every once in a while I drive, just have to drive by. And every time I've gotten close, every time I've filled up at a gas station, someone walks up and say, "Hey, how long have you been driving?" And I've been driving for almost 3 years, 2.5, 3, somewhere around there. And I tell them how long I've been driving. I always round off, so at this point I'll probably say 3 years at this point. And a lot of time it's just walking to the truck stop itself, and sometimes people, before they become a truck driver, they usually hang around truck stops asking any driver and every driver they can what to expect on the road. And I always start off what they should bring the very first time. And the very first time, you should bring, and something that people should realize is the very first time that they're getting on a truck, it's not their truck. It's going to be a trainer's truck. And so what you should bring is a backpack. Let me show you. It's a backpack about this big. And what should be in this backpack is not one of these. And let me tell you why. Because you're going to be on a trainer's truck, and sometimes the trainer is not the most honest person. So you should never bring one of these. Once you get into your own truck, I actually do recommend having a laptop. Though I do not pick it up Apple, I do not like this. So, but what you bring in, it's not actually full, is fill this up as tight as you can. And I've gotten more things in this backpack than you will ever believe. And yeah, this thing can get full. And I've had this backpack for a while. It's a good backpack. You should have maybe 2 changes of clothes. I know that sounds weird, but believe it or not, when you're on the road, you're not changing clothes that often because you're not being that physical. So I recommend a pair of sweats. I do recommend more than 2 changes of drawers and socks, because socks do get crusty. So I recommend 5 pairs of socks, about 5 pairs of drawers, a couple of t-shirts, and a pair of blue jeans. And then a blanket and a pillow. And don't be trying to put a queen size or king size pillow. Grab a twin size blanket and a small pillow, because your lifeline is literally going to be living out of this for the 3 weeks, 5 weeks, or whoever companies that you're training through says you're going to be on the road. Because that is not your truck. You're going to somebody else's personal living space. And And don't bother. I know some people out there said, call up and see who your training going to be. You could do that. They're not going to know. They're not going to know until your orientation. Even then, they don't know. I waited for about a week and a half after orientation to be put into a trainer's truck. And now I was my trainer's first trainee, so he really didn't really know what to expect himself either. But my second and third trainers were experienced trainers, so they had a little bit of space for me. But outside of this backpack, you do not. The other pair of change clothes you're gonna have is gonna be on yours. So you're gonna have about 6 pairs of socks, 6 pairs of drawers, 2 pairs of blue jeans, or maybe 2 pairs of sweats, and a pair of blue jeans, and 3 t-shirts. Now, when I said only pack 2 pairs, because the other pair that you're not thinking of is the one that you're already wearing. And make sure these are clothes that you don't mind going missing. And here's one antidote for me when I was in CEDO school. Someone stole all my pairs of drawers. You heard that right. My boxer drawers, every single one of them I had in my duffel bag at the time were stolen. Now, here was the mistake I did. I got a duffel bag and packed that up. Not really thinking how often I'm going to be holding that damn thing around. So now when I recommend people, I recommend a backpack because you can easily toss it on your shoulder. And that's it. And outside of that, I recommend a cell phone, its charger. I recommend a battery bank that you could toss into like one of these pockets right here, or one of these side pockets. I have a cupcake cracker. So, I don't recommend a tablet. Again, it's something that could go stolen. In fact, during CDL school, not CDL school, the guy a buddy went to CDL school with, his laptop got stolen during orientation. And he was really pissed off because it wasn't some cheap MacBook. It was a PC got off of Origin. So it was a couple grand worth of money that was stolen from him in retrospect. And so, because you're not going to spend that long on the truck. And while you're on the truck, remember the 7th of November. Remember that you are on somebody else's truck. Think of it like you're having a guest over, but for a few weeks. How would you like when that guest comes over to completely take over your apartment or your house? It's that exact supplement you need to take to your trainer's truck. Because if you're OTR, which I was at one point, and I can't speak on this, your truck is your home. Lock your truck when you step out of it. And things like that. It's your home. And this trainer is inviting you into their home for an extended amount of time so they can train you to be the best truck driver that they can personally make you into. Drink up every ounce of knowledge that they have. Because don't think that the knowledge you got at CDO school is real. A lot of it ain't. And I'm lucky I went to a CDO school that was ran by retired truck drivers. Not just people who got their CDO and decided to become an instructor. So a lot of the knowledge I got was transferable, but surprisingly amount of it was not. So drink up every bit of information they can, and if you keep asking questions and say, "Oh, I don't know," call your company and say, "Hey, I've been trying to ask questions, but he keeps saying I don't know." And if he says I don't know, immediately call the company if it's during your company's business hours. Say, hey, trying to know this information. I was wondering if y'all know this information. And don't stick to your company for information. When you're at truck stops, especially when you're a trainer, Walk around, talk to other truck drivers, see if you can get information from them. Say, hey, I'm a trainer at, I'm going to use the company I trained through, for example. Hey, I'm a trainee at Stevens Transport. My trainer didn't know this, but I was wondering if you knew this. No, random question off the top of my head. What happens if the shipper doesn't want to give me bills? Questions like that. Now, the answer to that one is don't leave the door. Do not leave the door until you have bills in hand. If you give you bills, well, call up your company. Let the two companies duke it out. Don't get in the middle of it. But things like that, during this phase, you are an apprentice, and a job of the apprentice is to get as much information as humanly possible. So that's a big one. If you make a mess in the truck, clean it up. That's your own personal truck as well, because if you spill soup on the kitchen floor, are you going to leave that soup on the kitchen floor? No, you're going to clean it up. Are you going to live with a shit ton of dirt on your carpet? No. Clean it up. You're going to clean it up. It's the exact same mentality you need to take to your truck. So, and if your dispatcher is refusing to let you drive, do not hesitate. Call up your dispatcher and say, hey, I've been on the truck for a week, and the company I went to had a trainee dispatcher, an entire office just for students. They're trained dispatchers, but they're trained specifically to work with students. And my dispatchers, I forgot about dispatcher name. I think it was Albert. I'm going to use the name Albert. Hey, Albert, I've been on this truck for about a week now, right? Yeah. Can you log my logs? Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, you've been driving. You've been driving pretty good damn hours you got there. Yeah, not a minute of that is mine. He's logging to my logs and driving for myself. I've not gone behind the wheel of this truck once. Discord. Don't hesitate. I myself was in a truck, I think it was my fourth trainer. I went through a lot of trainers. I went through more than what the typical driver would go through. And we was in South Carolina at the time. And I called my dispatcher. And here's the reason why. Not only did he rarely let me drive. If I was driving, he only let me drive for maybe 3 hours at a time. He constantly ragged on me. I was turning around because he told me to, and it's funny, his exact directions, he said I damn near jacked off the truck. He was calling me the shittiest driver you ever had on the road, which I was keeping behind between the lines. I was swerving. I was following everything he was telling me to do. And he kept calling me retarded, you're mentally insane, yada yada, shit like that. I eventually got to the point where, hey, Albert, I need to get to a new trainer. He said, why not? And I immediately told him what I told you. And if you're being harassed, if you're being mentally broken down, if they're whatever they're doing, do not be afraid to let your company know. See, I was fortunate. I went through a lot of trainers, and I've seen the best of the best, and I've seen the worst of the worst of the trainers I've seen. And don't be encouraged if your trainee dispatcher or if the company is not doing anything. At that point, don't be afraid to contact DOT. Because if your trainer is logging only your time and not allowing you to drive, that is a problem. And if your company is not doing anything about it, next time you get through a race station, or next time you stop, go into the truck stop and say, "Hey, can I speak with you in private?" Because I've seen this I've seen these happen. I'm saying, "Hey, I'm a trainee with such a company. I need to talk to you in private. I need to talk to somebody." And these workers will. If you go through a race station and they pull you in, climb out and ask to talk to the officer in private. There are people out there outside of your company that will help you. If you talk to an officer, they will do something. Like if you just need to call someone else or call DOT at a truck stop, they will let you. Don't be afraid to speak up if your dispatcher is not letting you get the proper training, and if your company's not doing anything about it. Don't be afraid to step up. This is 15 minutes long. I did not mean to go this long, but hey, I will talk to you guys later. And thank you for joining the revolution.